They said it was all about knowledge. And now I feel like I got most of it all.
Yo, lost ship. Drop it.
Introducing a man who needs no introduction. And what you see is what you get. They call it street knowledge. You're watching Street Knowledge live.
Already know, boy, you about to get busy with it right now.
They said it was all about knowledge. And now I feel like I got most of it all.
Yo, lost ship. Drop it.
Introducing a man who needs no introduction. And what you see is what you get. They call it street knowledge. You're watching Street Knowledge live.
Already know, boy, you about to get busy with it right now.
They said it was all about knowledge. And now I feel like I got most of it all.
Yo, lost ship. Drop it.
Introducing a man who needs no introduction. And what you see is what you get. They call it street knowledge. You're watching Street Knowledge live.
Already know, boy, you about to get busy with it right now.
Hey, what it is, I ain't gonna hold y'all. But before you walk in my house, take your shoes off, dust your feet off, sit back and enjoy the ride. And remember, before you leave, take some of these good vibes over to some of these other content creators. I really just did this to test out the new intro to see how it looked, to put it up so while I'm at work, people can, let me know whether they like it or not or whatever. I love it. Appreciate his lordship for blessing me with one of many to come. This will be the main one, and y'all out know I do shows over here, so it will be many more to come. I'm gonna play it one more time because I just like to look at it, right? And for once, it wasn't my creation. Usually, I do it myself, but I reached out to the OG, and he blessed me with it. It's been in the works for a long time. I understand that, but we gonna do it one more time.
They said it was all about knowledge. And now I feel like I got most of it all.
Yo, lost ship. Drop it.
Introducing a man who needs no introduction. And what you see is what you get. They call it street knowledge. You're watching Street Knowledge live.
Already know, boy, you about to get busy with it right now.
The one thing I can say about his work and his interpretation of whatever channel holder he's doing the work for, he does a very good job of capturing that channel holder's um, concept or theme of the channel, or even understanding me with me. What you see is what you get. Like that's street knowledge in total. You feel me? Like he very, very, very awesome job. I can't wait and to continue the work on the other shows, Generation X Radio. Can't wait to see the intro for that. This might make somebody mad podcast. Can't wait to see the intro to that. Fire and Ice podcast. I can't wait to see the intro to that. That will be the next one that I want him to work on. And while I'm here, I might as well share some opinions about a couple things, right? With YouTube, right? I be feeling like I'm in a time loop. I really do. I feel like it'd be the same cycle of events over and over and over again. I watched this show tonight. Very, very, very good show. Touched on a subject that I touched on a few days ago. Very dope show. Other than that, it was like more the same. And I feel like a lot of these things I have seen over and over again in the 10 months that I've been here. The lawsuits, all these things I done seen over and over. It's like weird, right? Y'all know the movie Groundhog's Day? Anybody ever seen Groundhog's Day? And it's another show like on Netflix called Russian Doll. Where I'll say Groundhog's Day first. Groundhog's Day is like one of my favorite movie concepts. Where dude just keep waking up within the same day each time. Russian Doll, similar, the young lady, but her situation a little differently because she I don't want to give too much away for people that didn't see it, but she steady wakes up in the same time loop over and over and over again. I feel like that in YouTube. In these YouTube streets, it's like the same time loop over and over and over again. The same issues with the same people over and over again in like a 3-month to 4-month span. It's like the weirdest shit, right? It's like the weirdest shit. It's like the same cycle. I don't know if people see it the same way that I do, right? And all the time I don't pay attention to everything. You know, I don't see everything. Luckily, it's somebody out there, whoever you is, salute to you, because I don't know who you are. They send me like little clips of stuff, and it's like the same shit over and over and over again. And I'm still waiting. I'm waiting for, and maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy to think and keep waiting for something to actually happen. Nothing never happens when any of these things is going on. Now, granted, I did receive a clip a little while ago that somebody did take homie to actual, that somebody took homie to court. I did see that a little while ago. I did see that. So I guess in that regard, you know, maybe those things happen, but it's like weird, and it's like the same thing over and over and over again. You know, it's amazing to me. It's like Groundhog's Day every single day. Groundhog's Day, or Russian Doll Day, or Happy Death Day, because that's another movie where it's the same thing over and over and over again. But we was really here about my new intro. Let's say it again. I just like looking at it.
They said it was all about knowledge. And now I feel like I got most of it all.
Yo, lost ship. Drop it.
Introducing a And these no introduction. And what you see is what you get. They call it street knowledge. You're watching Street Knowledge live.
Boy, you know, boy, you about to get busy with it right now.
Yet again, Groundhog's Day. Like I said, came up here just for the new intro, but I figured I'd touch on a couple of little things. I usually don't really speak on a lot of the things around these streets, but I just find it a little interesting. You know, I find it really interesting that it's like the same cycle repeats itself over again. And what I'm real mindful of for me and to protect myself and what I perceive to be my brand, even if nobody else sees so. But what I stand on character-wise over here is what and who I choose to attach myself to. And once I realize that the genuineness is not reciprocated, I have to and continue to move on. And I get the disrespect is, you know, when I come around, right? And people that know me in my personal life know I'm like this. When I come around and I show support or I want to build with anybody, it's always based off of respect. Never about following, never about purely agreeing. I don't expect nobody to do that with me. When I say it, I mean it though. I like 100% truly mean it. I don't have an objective, but I understand that that's not the way things operate out here. But understand, no matter how big you are, fucking with me, you throwing rocks at the sun. That just happens to be a fact. Because I don't understand your ways. I don't understand how this shit works. So I still move the way that I move. And as the saying always goes, when somebody show you who they are, you fuck around and you have to believe them for exactly who they are. And the one thing that I'm not going to do is steady believe the same shit over and over and over again. I don't knock the people who find it entertaining. I don't knock the people that find none of this crap entertaining. The part that's entertaining to me, this is the part that's entertaining to me. The part that's entertaining to me is the people that don't understand why certain things exist, right? You need a protagonist and you need an antagonist. This is the way things work. It's the way the entertainment works. And I know you all know this. You know how I know that you all know this? Because y'all engage with each other. But everybody presents themselves as the good guy. You know what? I don't give a fuck anymore about how anybody at this point doing this for the length of time I've been doing it. I could give a fuck. I don't take this as seriously as I did 10 months ago. I just don't. Because I realize a large percentage of you motherfuckers is not who and what you say you are. I can respect the people who tell you exactly who they are. I respect that. Even if I don't like it, I respect it. I can respect that 100%. But when somebody, it is so weird, right? Like, I know a lot of times when I go live, salute his lordship. Thank you, sir. I premiered the intro, and that's what this was all about. Then I just decided to go off on a tangent, but appreciate you uh on so many levels. No matter what, troll or not, I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you do over there regardless. I like that mix up of content. I like the presentation of the channel, the way it sound, all that. I salute to you. Dope, very dope. Um it's a lot of the same shit. Like I truly feel like now if anybody never if you never seen the movie, if any of y'all never seen the movie, um no matter what time of the day y'all choose to watch this, you get a chance, watch Groundhog's Day. The dude life's repeat itself over and over again. I feel like that. And I haven't been around as long as some of you guys have doing this thing. It's pretty much been 10 months going on 11 months, close to a year. I have seen the same cycle repeat itself over and over and over again with the same people saying the same shit. It'd be the same shit. It'd be lawsuit, police station, lawsuit. Nothing ever happens. And I don't want to see anything ever happen to anybody, but it'd be the same shit. It would be the same shit. It's getting to the point where it's funny. And I really don't take a lot of this shit that seriously anymore. I just don't. I just don't. I don't I don't look at it the same way I did in the beginning. I thought differently, and I think most people do when they first come into this, because you're not technically um a YouTuber yet. I think you don't become a YouTuber until you realize how the game goes. Like it's politics involved in everything. Um, the way people try to shut you out and keep you from growing, like that's a real thing, which is like crazy. People do that. Like the fact that we see each other as an enemy, and no matter what we do, it's the weirdest shit I ever seen in my life. I've been through situation with real ops. I don't see anybody in YouTube land as an op. But this shit will make you start to see it that way. Like you are careful about who you choose to come in contact with or deal with because of that shit. Because of all of, and it shouldn't have to be that way, right? You want to be able to feel like you can just build with anybody, but that's not realistic. It's not realistic. And a lot of us that come from a different type of background, we approach this shit and we're thinking of it in a way that we would approach things in real life, and that's not how shit works around these parts. It's different legions, it's different moves that people make based upon shit. Like and the crazy thing is, this is the crazy part. A lot of these people be thinking they playing chess. No, you're not. Because if I can see the move, if I can see it coming, that's not chess. Shit, that's not even checkers. Fuck, that's not even spades. I don't know what the fuck that is. But it be the same shit over and over and over again. It's recycled content over and over again. Nobody holds. It's like it's a weird like cult following. Unfortunately, it's weird in that way. You know, and you almost gotta be careful when you starting this bullshit. You almost have to be. People never feel like people don't come with your best interests, um, not reciprocating it the same way you do. People see you as a op, even if you just disagree with what they say. I'm the type of person, and I did T history here. Salute, brother. I know you know this now. I know the Prince know this, Robin know this. I'm the type of person that I am very vocal and passionate about certain subjects. And if I feel like um whatever the statement is, I respond to that statement within my opinion, grounded in whatever facts that I feel it upon. We can build upon that, is what I always believe. Those things make for good conversations. When somebody doesn't agree with what you're saying, what I have noticed, based upon the situation, based upon the level of whatever else is going on, people will agree with 95% of what a channel holder says, right, wrong, or indifferent. They will agree. The crazy thing is, if a supposedly op, says something to combat that, they would totally disagree with it. But if somebody that's cool with the channel holder says the same thing, they will agree with it. That is crazy. Or am I bugging? That's crazy. In real life, I couldn't be around nothing like that in real life. I'm definitely not being around nothing like that in fucking fake land. Like that shit is weird, B. It's the weirdest shit. I've never seen anything like that. That's why I can respect the people who say exactly what it is. It say exactly what they are, exactly what they do. They move however they move, but they say exactly who they are. I respect that. Like, don't act like you one thing, like you're this and you're that, but you really care about the things that you claim you don't. Else you wouldn't exhibit the behavior. Like, that's the weirdest shit. And people hold people one to unfair standards. They hold the audience to unfair standards. They hold channel holders to unfair standards. They hold people to these standards that they don't hold people to in real life. Do you go around in real life asking people what content creators do they watch? Do you watch such and such? You shouldn't watch this, dumb. You shouldn't watch this, that's dumb. You shouldn't watch that. No, you don't do that. You don't even know what the fuck they watch. You don't even know what their porn search history is. Of people that you know in your everyday life. You're not holding them to the same standard that you hold people in this world of entertainment to. Why do it here? Granted, is some of this shit, whatever it is, but the influence is on each other. The kids ain't watching this shit. We delusional if we think they are. Our numbers would be higher if they was. It would be somebody in this sector with millions. It would be somebody. People who kids watch do very, very well, numbers wise. You know, goddamn kids over here. Y'all need to stop that shit. The influence is on each other and on the new content creators coming in. That's where the influence is. New content creators come in, they get caught up in that shit and they don't know which way to go. That's where the problem comes in. That ain't no goddamn kids. Y'all need to stop that. Tell me some goddamn, the kids good. Kids don't know about none of this shit. My youngest daughter walked in the other day. She was like, "Dad, who's that?" It's too long for me to try to even explain to her. She don't even know this world even exists on here, and I don't even want to introduce it to her. She won't watch this shit anyway. We ain't talking about. We are talking about. We're not talking about anything that they are interested in. That's the first thing. That's the thing that everybody needs to understand. And if your goal is to reach them, then you probably should pay attention to some current events that they care about. If that's your target, if your target is to help them, then you might need to stop talking to the people in your age group. I mean, to me, that would just make more sense. If that's your target demographic, then your content need to be catered to that target demographic. It's not my target demographic, even though it's topics that I would touch on that they probably would know about because I find out things through them. You know what I mean? I learn from my children. I don't know a lot about what the fuck is going on in the um currently in music or anything like that. I learn that from them. They tell me about shit. Then I go look for it, I research it, I find out how I can relate it to whatever I talk about. That's about it. But they not looking at this shit. And if they are, it's a parent's fault. That just happens to be fact. They're not running across this on their own. We all by now understand how this YouTube shit works, how we even find each other. We find each other based off of the content that we're watching. So you end up, other shit end up popping up based off of who you done watched, who you done sub to, and whatever that subject is. With me, I think the hardest part about for some people to run across my content is because my content ends up being can be under some hip hop shit, can be under some politics shit, can be under whatever. It's like spread it out because of the way that I choose to title it, which brings me to some of the content creators around here. A lot of you all don't know how to title your video. So even if you wanted to make a video that was designed to talk to the generation that's coming up now, they wouldn't find it because the way that you title your shit, only people that's around this shit would even understand what the hell the title is. They're not going to find that by accident. Even if you tag it properly, you more than likely tagging somebody or something around here. It just feels like Groundhog's Day. In the last 10 months, I have seen history repeat itself over and over and over again. And everybody's okay with that. So I'm okay with it. I don't have nothing, I don't have nothing to say about it. I'm just curious, does anybody else notice the shit? Because I can overthink shit. I knew that coming into this shit, I can overthink shit. I took this shit a little bit too seriously at first. Like, if you'll see different swings in my content, if you just looked at my channel as a whole, you would see different swings in my content. Earlier on, I did commentary about another channel holder that y'all haven't heard me speak on since. Because my mind not understanding, because I used to watch that person and think to myself, don't nobody see the discrepancies in this bullshit? So I made a video, made like 2 videos tops, 2, 3 videos. I think maybe my first 2, 3 videos. And then when I found out other people was doing it, it's like, oh shit, well, it don't even make sense for me to do it because other people actually get it. I left that shit alone. Didn't make no more videos like that. I left that shit absolutely alone because if it's fucking 150 million people doing that same shit about that one person, and my channel probably would have grew tremendously if I would have stayed there. But I thought wasn't nobody else talking about it and pointing these things out. And that's the only reason why that I spoke on it to begin with. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So that's why it's a clear stop of that. But if I would have steady kept doing that, and those videos done very, very well, I could have kept doing that same thing. And channel would have been fine, but that's all the channel would have been known about. That's all it would have been for. As content creators, I guess you got to decide, what you really want to be known for. You don't really have a choice in the matter. Some people are dragged into it. You know what I mean? Some people choose to be in it. Yeah, I was T History. I don't really say the cat name no more, but I started that way. But I didn't know, like, and I'm being honest when I say that. That's why you see a stop in it. Because then I found out, and how I found out is because the channel holder that started appreciating my videos, and then I looked at their videos, and when they started sharing me and somebody else, I seen that it was a bunch of other people doing it. I was like, oh no. So I was like, oh no, let me stop doing that. That's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do, because that wasn't the mission when I started to see that was a climate of what people was doing at that particular time. I'm thinking that I'm providing a service that ain't nobody else doing. I'm thinking I'm providing something I didn't think anybody else was doing it. And then here I go doing the same thing that everybody else doing. I had to stop it and regroup and say, all right, I'm not going to speak on that. And since other people typically are giving commentary on, I'm not doing that anymore. And then when I choose to, even now, when I choose to, like whenever I speak on, a subject that maybe another channel holder has spoken on, I stick to and have always stuck in. I always stick to what's said. That's it. I try to stay away from all that other shit. I stay away from that. I stick to what's said. The things I hear. I tend not to forget. Like, I'm bad with dates and shit like that. Totally bad with dates and shit like that. The one thing that I am good with is if you tell me something, I remember that shit. If you tell me something as a man or a woman, you tell me something, and then I hear something totally complete different than what the fuck you said. A week later, a day later, 4 or 5 months later, for some reason, my brain sparks that original memory of what you said. I might not remember it for that length of time until you say something different than that. Like if you say you, just for to throw something out there, you say you brought a damn you brought you got paid and you brought a car, and then 5 months you tell the same story, but you say somebody else brought you the car. I'm going to remember what you said the first time. My brain just operate like that, and some people don't. And the problem is when people lie, it's hard to keep up with the lie in the first place. So I don't lie. And I ain't saying that just to be saying it. Do I completely tell the whole entire truth? No, none of us do. Not one single soul tells everything. I leave certain shit out, but I don't lie. I don't do that shit. Because you lie out of fear. Lie out of fear. People lie out of fear of people really saying who the fuck they are. Not understanding people see that shit anyway. The sad part about it is people entertain that shit. But I also get it. because it's entertainment for those people. There's them being a part of something, and it's nothing wrong with it. I don't look at the audience some type of way that chooses to be a part of shit like that. That's fine if that's what you choose to do. It's not my job to regulate to humans what they choose, what they choose to find entertaining. That's the funniest shit because you actually, if most of y'all was smart as content creators, y'all will understand the concept of an antagonist needs a protagonist and the same vice versa. So you need those people for content and they need you for content because that's how y'all do content. That's the way it works. That's how you have to coexist. So nobody's going to jail. That's it's not nobody's going to jail. I wish we stopped with just going and filing police. Lord have mercy. I don't know. Maybe it will. I don't know. I feel like I'm stuck in a time loop and shit. That's just what I feel like. But I think that's just part of the entertainment. But I didn't heard this shit. And when I first heard it, I remember the first time I heard a content creator say that. I was sitting there, I was thinking, I was talking to my the girl I was fucking with at the time. I was like, yo, these motherfuckers on YouTube sending motherfuckers to jail. What the fuck kind of shit is this? And she was like, for real? I was like, nah, well, the motherfucker said he, went through the process and shit. I don't know. But that shit weird to me because I ain't found no damn police report on no goddamn body online. I'm not filing a police report on the motherfucker in real life. I stay the fuck away from you first. And that's for because I know what I'm capable of. I choose not to participate because I know I don't take kindly to being disrespected. I don't take kindly to people portraying themselves to be one way and then not that way at all. I don't have a real or never had a real issue with a soul on here. Anybody that I have ever um had a disagreement with or have been on their platform and stepped on a panel, it was always in respect, even if I disagree with something they said. It was always within respect. They would be the ones that act a certain way because that's the thing you supposed to do, right? You supposed to act like ain't nobody gonna tell me nothing. That's what you're supposed to do as a channel holder, unless it's coming from a friend, which is weird. So the friend can tell you, but none of that shit makes sense. If somebody got up here right now, if I drop the link and somebody got up here right now and they say, yo, Street, I think that shit is bullshit that you said, I would ask them to base that opinion off of some foundation of fact, and we can build from there. You entitled to your opinion. You ain't got to believe a motherfucking thing I said, but we can build from there. We can reach an understanding. If I can understand why you feel that way, and you can understand the way that I feel, then we can move on from that. It ain't about changing nobody's mind and building some goddamn cult. And this cult is only supposed to fuck with you and the people that you fuck with. That's not real life. That's not how real life works. Fucking networks even understand that shit. Networks know. Like fucking Netflix know right now that you're not just subscribed to Netflix. They know you probably got Hulu. They know you probably got Crackle. They know you probably got Disney. They know you probably got HBO Max. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. As long as you spend some time with them, they not mad because you watching Disney Plus. They just not. This shit doesn't work that way. This is it is funny. It is funny. And it's not fair to the audience. It's lordship crazy. It's not fair to the audience. You feel me? And even with like what his lordship just said with the cloud chasing thing, people say that about within a realm where I haven't seen any tangible clout. I think people just say it now because it's the thing to say. But clout to me is like something totally different. Clout would mean to me that if I came over to your platform or I even mentioned your name, I even put your name in my title, or I even came over there with you, or you said my name, I could get 2 to 3,000 subscribers off of the strength of that. And that wouldn't even really be any type of clout. It would only mean that you are it on YouTube, but it's not a soul that can even guarantee that shit. Like if I rock with something that a content creator do, I rock with what they do. It's a few content creators that I rock with what they do. Most of them happen to be small that I really like to support because I think the smaller content creators actually put a lot more effort into what they're doing. I think the bigger ones get to the point where they don't put more emphasis on actually coming up with new ideas and new content. They just recycle the same shit over and over and over again. Or steal ideas from smaller content creators. It's one or the other. It's one or the other. And that's not to take nothing away from most of them. I like a lot of them. It's a few of them that I actually enjoy. I enjoy a lot of them. Like I say that's my sis, Diva. I enjoy Diva. I fucks with Diva. The problem is this: the male content creators don't never really want to fuck with other male content creators. They don't never wanna like support or do shit like that. But it's the weirdest shit. Like we still see each other as enemy, no matter what the fuck we do. Hey, Rain, I'm still waiting on your email, but I'm waiting patiently. I'm excited. That's one of the reasons why I'm waiting. Um, but it's the weirdest shit. I've been watching. Like I've been around, right? Before a lot of people knew I even existed. I watch, I pay attention to shit. I'm an observer. That's what I do. I observe shit. I've always been that way. Like even when I take lunch at work, I don't eat like in the break room at work. I hate break rooms at work, right? I hate that shit. And I don't like being in the office. I like to sit outside and watch people. I eat and I watch people. That should be better than TV. Like I observe the shit that's going on around me. It's just something about that shit. I did the same thing with this shit. Like I was doing my video uploads and I would observe shit because I didn't have anybody to tell me how this shit work around here. There was nobody to say this, that, or the third, or da da, or do, or none of that shit. This shit was trial and error with me. I didn't realize certain shit. You know what I mean? I didn't realize that content creators, the way that they see shit when you disagree with certain shit, how people don't let shit go, how people perceive you as enemy, how people perceive chat as ownership. That's crazy. That's crazy. Chat ain't ownership. I don't give a damn where who go around here. That's your choice to go wherever the hell you. That should be weird as shit. It'd be weird. But let's give his lordship a plug for you content creators out there. If y'all don't know who his lordship is, understand something. This man do very good work, and I'm gonna show the intro again just because I want to see it again.
They said it was all about knowledge. And now I feel like I got most of it all.
Yo, lost ship. Drop it.
Introducing a man who needs no introduction. And what you see is what you get. They call it street knowledge. You're watching Street Knowledge live.
Word, you know, boy, you about to get busy with it right now.
Cause really, that's what this live was all about. Was to premiere the new intro. That's what it was all. The work was done on time, way before time, actually, way before the deadline, way before all that. Enjoyed it. Look forward to working with his lordship again on the other shows that I have on this channel as well. And I seen his work other places. The first place I seen his work was Diva's channel, and I was like, I gotta find out who dude is and how to get in touch with him. Then I seen more of his work on 1400 channel. I seen the work over there while I was frequenting over there. I seen the work over there, and I was like, I like the fact that what it seems to me, and I could be wrong, right? What it seems to me is his lordship does a good job of identifying the channel holder's concept within the intro. That's what it seems like to me. And that's why I wanted to reach out to him. And plus, graphic wise, for what we do, especially as far as doing lives, it goes better than a intro, than the other type of intros, than type of intros that I have on my channel that I did myself. Those type of intros is the typical YouTube intros, right? For the typical YouTube content creator. These intros sets our content and what we do over here apart from the rest of YouTube. It looks different, it feels different, it sounds different, it's dope. And I appreciate what the homie do. And that just happens to be fact. It's just a dope thing. I look forward to see what Fire and Ice podcast intro gonna look like, what Generation X podcast gonna look like, and This Might Make Somebody Mad podcast gonna look like. I look forward to those intros as well, because that's in my mind, and that's how I started the process a long time ago, is to have shows more than just a particular topic. So maybe a show, somebody identifies with one particular show more than another. And I noticed that a lot. Like, it's people that come to Battle Rap Matters podcast that don't come to not near one of the other shows. They don't show up for shit else but that. Yeah, I'll email you, right? Or I'll put it in the comment section. I don't really worry about all that other nonsense. But like I was saying, this shit is like Groundhog's Day around here. It'd be the same shit. It'd be the same shit. I'd be laughing. Shit to get me is you be thinking that some people are solid and they don't really be. I take that back. You be thinking people are solid with you because I don't want to make it seem like people not solid because people have different experiences with different people, right? That's why I will never ever, and I'm like this in real life, and I'm like this with this. I will never tell somebody, um, like not to deal with somebody or die because their experience might be different than mine. I'm like that at work. Like you'll figure this shit out. You'll see. You'll come up with your own opinion about who and what somebody is. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to sway somebody's opinion one way or the other. I don't I don't do that shit. I don't like that shit. I get why people do it though. I do get that. I do understand that. Like I didn't know. I didn't know. I found out this, right? I did not know that it was slight against another content creator if you go live while they live. I didn't know that until about a month ago. Maybe about 3 weeks ago or something. Because I do my shit as a convenience. Like I got shit in real life. You know what I mean? Um, I work, spend time with my granddaughter, my kids older when they come through. I'm not trying to sit here, do YouTube, all that shit. I got life. I never looked at it like I'm basing my shit off of what other people doing. I'm like, I do my shit, I get my shit in. People see the replay, they see the replay. If a motherfucking soul don't show up, motherfuckers will catch the replay. That's how I looked at it. Like tonight, I ain't expect the motherfucking soul to be here, but probably roll. If that. She might have been asleep or some shit. But I didn't know that shit. And now the crazy thing is, in me knowing that from the opposite and not thinking about it from my side, you start to notice other people doing this shit. Now you start to think, is they doing it because but the shit was put in my head, so I'm automatic. Now I'm thinking about it in that regard. You know what I mean? So now when I go live and somebody else goes live, knowing that I'm already live, or maybe they don't know that I'm live, then it looks a little suspect, right? But I don't even care. I don't even care. Exactly, Lisa. I don't know who made this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea. I did never looked at this shit this way. I only started doing lives because video uploads was becoming time consuming. You do the content, then you gotta do the edit, then you want to add this, and then you want to make sure about this, and that shit was taking me time. So when I found out about the lives, I was like, shit, I could do a live. Whether a motherfucker show up or not, they'll just catch the replay, and that'll be a video upload. That's the way I looked at it. Because I'm more concerned with the final number than how many people are actually here right now. If I'm gonna concern myself with the number, right? If I'm gonna concern myself with the number, it's the final number, not this actual number. And what people don't know is this. I know his lordship might know this. What people don't know is this. When you go live using something other than YouTube, the actual number that you see is not accurate. That's all facts. That actual number is not accurate that you see. And it's amazing how many content creators do not know that. And I ain't even been doing this shit that long, but I noticed it a few months ago. I noticed it a few months ago. It tripped me out when I first noticed. I was like, nah, I must be tripping. But then when I seen it, I was like, oh, all right, now it makes sense. I did my little research and shit. Now it makes sense because one, you really ain't, but they can't really stop it. So they kind of split. They give you a percentage of the numbers, but not really the whole number. That number is not accurate that you see in somebody's chat. that the number that they give you is lower than the actual number of what it is through wherever you use in Prism, StreamYard, or any one of those other services that you can go live with. That number's wrong. I even have seen some be higher than what they're supposed to be, but the number is not accurate. Yep, YouTube Studio give you the real info. That's where you get the real thing from. Like as soon as, and I recommend any content creator to do this, as soon as your live is over, even while it's processing, you can see the actual number. If you go around to the video, you can see the actual number. That's the real number. That's the actual number, not the one that StreamYard is showing you. That's the real one. And so many of them don't know that. I be listening to them say how many people that, or even get discouraged or talk about other people numbers that might be lower, and they don't even know that that number is not accurate, that their own number is not accurate, that if they should say 150 people, they might actually got 200 or 300 and something people, might even have more than that. They don't even know that. That's why you got some channel holders that give a number that people think is fictitious. Like they'll say a number like 3,000 and you only see 1,000 people in a chat. That's why they'll say that shit. But that was some shit that I noticed a little while ago. You know, and I didn't realize that a lot of people didn't know that shit till you start hearing people talking shit. They say that shit they don't even know. Once I figured that shit out, you know what I mean? Because I see, I could understand how some people are uncomfortable doing lives and shit. I was a little more comfortable doing a live really than a video upload. The video uploads always had me like trying to be too perfect and shit. It's why people start wilding on the show at some point because they are watching. Oh, good point. Good point. Good point. All right. Yeah, and you can tell like a lot of the big ones that go live, they know. They know. They definitely know. It's so many of the mid tier and us other ones at the bottom, because I look at it in the same way that I would look at battle rap. Like in this sector, you got top tier, you got mid tier, and you got the lower tier, and then you got the bottom feeders. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. You know, if you up to 100,000, 200,000 subscribers, those people ain't really in the sector per se. It's just people in the sector talk about those people, but that don't make them be part of the sector. They're not part of the sector. Because if they was, more of us would be able to share and have some of that audience. That's what would happen. You know what I mean? And you are absolutely right about that, Lordship. The more animated and the more louder any situation get, the more, if you're speaking on somebody else in a negative manner, if you calling shit, attack black women, have beef with a woman, be lit as a motherfucker, have beef with a woman, have some verbal spawn or some shit with somebody. It could be somebody in the chat. It could be another channel holder. The numbers that go off the goddamn charts. I couldn't never. Ain't no way in the world. I can't argue. I'm not good at that shit. Yeah, and Rain, that you're absolutely right. It's all a form of entertainment. I think a lot of people don't understand that, and they believe that somehow YouTube is what's wrong with so many things in the world. No, the fuck it's not. No, it's not. Why do we keep doing that? What you see on YouTube is a result of the reality of society, not the other way around. What the fuck is wrong with us? Why do we say stuff like that? There's no way we can be that loopy. It's no possible way. But a lot of stuff been around forever. It's always been people that said certain things. It's always been people that did certain actions. Like I always say, anytime I had a debate about people and music and violence, when Al Capone and St. Valentine's Day, when the St. Valentine's Day massacre happened, it was no rap music. It was none. What was the cause of the violence that took place in New York and Chicago during that time? What was the root cause of that? Money, power, prostitution, been around. It's the oldest profession ever. It's in the Bible. Murder is in the Bible. All these things, all these bad things have been around forever. And suddenly now, all the fucking YouTube is the cause of something. No, it's a reflection of what's already going on. You can't fix the problem from here. I would like to say that one more time. You can't fix the problem from here. Especially if you becoming part of the problem from here. That makes absolutely no sense. My personal opinion. I had a culture shock. Let me put your comment up on screen so I can see it. For a second. Y'all know I don't be looking at the chat. I'm looking at the chat tonight because this was really alive, just about the OG, his lordship, in that intro. I really didn't have wasn't supposed to be doing a show. I said, oh, that's entertainment, but it's time broadcast. Oh, I already looked at that one. It's this one. The culture shop was somebody asked me how many views you had. Not hello. Yeah, people charge you off your platforms now. Yeah, that's crazy. I don't even look at it like that. Like I don't care how many subs somebody have. I don't care how many views they got. I'm looking at building and trying to change the culture of something. Anything that I ever done, right? Anything that I ever done. Motherfuckers that know me from when I was doing another particular lifestyle, they will tell you that I did it differently than other people. Just happens to be a fact about me. I try my best to change a culture of something to fit my likeness, so I do it my way. That doesn't lead to it being easier. That leads to it being harder because people can't recognize it immediately. It takes longer. You know what I'm saying? It does, and a lot of people get discouraged because of that. I don't. I've been managing people for 20 something years. I like to say longer because in a previous lifestyle it was the same concept, right? But for 20 something years I've been managing people. Anywhere I go, wherever I go, no matter what job it is, the first thing that I try to do and attempt to do is change the culture within that environment, within that workplace, because it's important. Because they so used to doing whatever it is they've been doing a certain type of way for certain type of people. You can't go in there. The biggest mistake that a lot of managers make is they go into a situation believing that they Captain America or Wonder Woman and they can change the world. And they start trying to force change on the people. That leads to high turnover. That leads to a whole bunch of bullshit and stress. It's a way to do that without trying to force it on people. You ease people into change. The government does that to us all the time. Whenever you acting like you approving something that's existing, people are more likely to accept it than to reject it. If you're just trying to change something just for the sake of changing it, that's something different. When you defer within the change, if you even make them feel like it's their idea, it's more accepted. Giving away too much, but that's just something that helps within, man. I don't know why more people don't manage that way, especially when you just coming into a situation instead of trying to manage through fear and all that other shit that lead to a whole bunch of nonsense. um and I just tend to operate like that in everything I do. I try to change the culture. I try to be exactly who I am and do it my way within the confines of what other the structure is that I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm good with taking advice and shit like that, but I'm always going to take it and do it my way. Not going to mimic what somebody else is doing and expect that to work for me. That makes no sense. But that's what ends up happening. Um, and why you would never have any change. With why anything will never change within the way that people do content on here is because every new content creator that comes in looks at the way everybody else is doing it. So your influence is not on young people. Yet again, your influence is on each content creator that's just coming in that now know if I want to do numbers, this is what I got to do, because y'all not giving anything else. Y'all not giving another option. Y'all not giving another way of doing it. But it's plenty of examples of other ways to do it. There's plenty of examples. But I will tell y'all this. This is my advice to each one of y'all. If any of y'all ever run across this video, any one of you content creators out there that's big or consider yourselves big, y'all not. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if it's not about you growing, you should want the sector to grow. The sector growing is beneficial to you and everybody else in it. One person trying to be at the top of it is what'll bring it down, and it'll fail, it'll go away. That just happens to be a fact. That's just what's going to happen. As I always relate it back to, because it's the only thing that I can point it to, because it's the only thing that I know and I saw and I watched happen, was the battle rap community, was the battle rap sector, with the bloggers over there and the people that do commentary over there. When the culture grew, they didn't grow. They didn't grow until they left each other alone, because what they started to realize was that everybody within the culture was watching all of them. So flagging each other down, talking about each other, doing all that other shit was making them gravitate towards somebody else. And that person is still the biggest of all of them. They never participated in none of that shit. When the rest of them stopped, they started to get the trickle down effect from that person. Now all of them do pretty good numbers. Now it's a bunch of them in 100,000, 200,000. They still didn't reach the point that the culture reached yet, and they could have if they wasn't stuck beefing with each other. When URL grew to 1 million+ subscribers, they should have been able to eat off of that 1 million+ subscribers, but they was too busy beefing with each other, beating each other down, and wasn't able to capitalize off of the people that was newly coming into the battle rap content. They got lost in the shuffle from having to start over again, from doing the crap that they was doing to each other. Now it's pretty civil. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that everybody was participating in that. 15 Minutes of Fame didn't. Jay Black didn't. Hip hop is real. That's still up in the air. They do a lot of indirect shit, but everybody else and battle rap fans know what that time was like. What's the name of Talking Heads and more you listen to them, realize they know. Yeah, exactly right. That's just what it is. But you remember how that time was about 9 years ago with all the crap that was going on. Every time you turned around, battle rap blogger was starting a channel over because this person was flagging this person. And it's very few OGs are still around. So many people are not still around within that culture. It's a whole lot of new ones now. It's new ones now I didn't even knew existed. I found out about a couple of them. I didn't even know that they was around, and they eating off of a few of that million that URL got within the time frame that the culture been around. But that should be the ultimate goal, is for everybody to grow. For everybody to grow. That should be the ultimate goal. That helps everything. Even if it's the person that you don't really fuck with, you should want to see the whole sector grow. The more people that's invited to and attached to the sector, because if they find one of us, they end up finding the rest. That's the thing that nobody looks at. Still going on, don't get me gossiping. But I know I see that I'm just starting to notice that Vodafly, almost every chance he gets, him and Piper Boy does this. They take a shot at Jay Black. And I know how people feel about Jay Black, and they think Jay Black is corporate and he a puppet and whatever they think about Jay Black. But I still remember what Vada did to Jay Black, and he could have been a part of that whole thing. Like, that original concept of Champion was made for him to be a part of, and he kind of messed that up. And it's just a shame that we tend to look at each other a certain way, and no matter what we do, it's sad that we tend to make shit messy, no matter what the hell we do. But my thing that's surprising is I expect, and I don't want to make this sound like I'm taking a shot at any women, because I'm not. I expect certain things out of women. I just do. I expect certain things out of women. It's things that I don't expect from men. I expect for men to conduct themselves a certain way, especially when dealing with men. And also with dealing with women. I expect that. Even if we engaging in some type of verbal combat, even if we don't like each other, even if it's a cold war, because it's a lot of those things that go on YouTube too. These little cold wars and shit where you don't even know a motherfucker got a problem with you. You don't even know. This shit is weird, yo. I swear, I really wish that months ago I would have been like documenting I would have been documenting certain moments on YouTube, right? I wish I would have. And I said this before, and anybody can take this idea. Anybody can take it. I don't really care. Because I don't know if I watch everybody enough to be able to actually implement the ideas. So anybody can take it. And it might even take a group of people to do it, right? But to take certain moments and do a top 10, whether it's a month, whether it's a week, even if it's the end of the year, and do like a top 10, a top 20 of things that impactful moments, funny moments, ratchet moments, whatever moments. Somebody can create a whole channel just like that. This is the shit that I think about. Because to me, that's content. to me, that is content. Like somebody could really do that in this sector. It's so much shit that go on. It's so many impactful moments. It's some people that can do a show and YouTube stop for a minute. And then everybody does content off of what that person did that one day, the for the next 3, 4 days. But you can take and compact those moments, those top 10, top 20 moments. That could be something. Yeah, that's the way his lordship. That's the way that I put it. Those it's like little cold wars. Like it's nothing never said directly. Like the person don't say your name, but you know you check the temperature in that chat. You know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what it is. You check the temperature. You know what it is. I ain't said nothing, but you know. And then once you know, you move a different way. So now that's why I use the term Cold War, because you ain't really saying nothing or naming that person. They ain't really saying nothing to naming that person. It's cold. We know what the temperature is. I see you. You see me. I'm going about my way. And I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke with nobody. I would like to be able to intelligently be able to debate people on certain aspects of things that they say from a realistic standpoint, an intelligent standpoint, and be able to move on, and we can have an understanding without people getting in their feelings, without people wanting to call people names and yelling and screaming and all that. Had the Hebrew brother on my show. Um and when me and him first met, it was a little touch and go because of how we came in contact with each other. So the first time we tried to do it, it didn't work out. The second time we did it, and Ro was mediator, we started to see that we were saying some of the same shit, just a little differently. When we got past the surface problems, when I stopped perceiving that he was taking a shot out somebody that I was cool with, you know what I mean? And when he got past and started to actually listen to what I was saying, he seen I wasn't being disrespectful to his religion. I was just giving my aspect of what I was saying based upon the aspect of when you look at the history of religion itself, it makes you think a little differently. Just when you look at it from the aspect of the history of religion and what's the root of that and where it came from, not a actual religion itself. Once we got past all that, we started to realize we were saying some of the same things. We reached the understanding, and we cool. He comes around sometimes. I go over there and check out what he doing sometimes. But we ain't buddy. It would be nice to be able to see more of that around these parts. I just don't want you say one thing about somebody, you clout chasing, and then you got to make 10 videos, or if you don't go on they then it's about who channel you gonna go on. Because if they bigger than you, they ain't coming on your platform. If you go on their platform, you clout chasing. It's, no matter what you do, you wrong. It makes no sense because the bigger, if it's a bigger channel holder, they always feel like they in the position of power. That's what they're going to feel like, even when they're wrong. They got the bigger audience. They got the bigger everything within the confines of YouTube, so they win. It's never that deep. I know what you mean. It's a touchy subject. I speak all my views. Rain, I know I have And I didn't realize it till recently. I just looked at it like, I voiced my opinion. I choose not to really speak on certain things pertaining to women. I always felt like somebody need to hold motherfuckers accountable. If people already holding these accountable, where's the people to hold these people at accountable? But nobody. I'd rather have people around me that's gonna hold me accountable for the shit that I say. That's what I want. It's always sneak dissing and subliminals everywhere. I didn't heard like distinctly heard people say shit. I didn't heard people repeat shit I said word for word. And what can you say if you the smaller content creator? You can't say nothing. You can go through all the pointing at the timestamp and all that shit. You can't do nothing about that shit. You can't do nothing about that shit. It's just gonna keep doing, and then it all becomes a fucking popularity contest. Who's bigger? And a lot of these people come up with that. I don't believe nothing. I don't believe the shit. I don't think the audience believe the shit. You know what I mean? I think, and I'm pretty much sure the audience, I have the people that's watching it, don't believe it. The sad part is you make a group or audience of people feel like they can't go here, go there. They watching it anyway, but they can't even be a part of the shit that they watching because they know somebody's watching to see if they there. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is some crazy shit. I ain't say no shit like that on street shit. I ain't never seen no shit like that. This shit is like weird. It's like a whole learning experience. It's like a learning curve, but I'm learning on the fly. Like I'm peeping the whole shit. Like I'm getting it. I'm learning how to move properly. I'm learning how and what to attach yourself to. You know what I mean? Everything ain't even worth it. Sometimes everything ain't meant to be, you know what I mean, for you to say something about. I'm learning that shit too. That was the first thing that's hard for me to do. Cause I don't bite my tongue and shit. Because as my grandmother would say, that shit hurt. YouTubers and we'll check the shit out of them and think nothing of it. Yeah, that's what it is. Me, like, I'll say this. And you been over here for a little while, so you don't really know. Ro know this. Couple of other content creators know this. I typically hardly ever do it here. If there's a discrepancy somewhere or somebody that says something that's completely different than what I stand on, I go holler at them on their platform. I'll click a link in a minute and talk to them. The video, the live shit back and forth, I ain't with that shit, but I'll go holler at them in a way that's my way of doing it. That's in my way of doing it. I've done that a few times, but even with that shit, they get to do whatever little narrative before or after you leave. It changes nothing. Like that's what I learned. Like it almost serves no purpose. Almost serves no purpose. Now I done had some productive ones, like me and Vic issue of what he thought. And my only problem was I wanted him to acknowledge that what he said, to prove what he was saying. And I wasn't going anywhere or leaving until he proved what he was saying. You know what I mean? And in the past I've made or given commentary about certain discrepancies that I done heard people say, regardless of who the person was. That's just me. I wouldn't give a damn if it's Moses. If it's a discrepancy in something you say, I'ma holler at you. But what I noticed in this shit, it ain't really no win. That's a fact, his lordship. That is an absolute fact. Yeah, and it wasn't even I didn't perceive it as that rain. I looked at it like we kind of sort of from us both being from up north in a way, we passionate and talk a certain way about certain things. And when you passionate and you talk in a certain way, the audience might perceive it some way. We understood what it was. We talked about it on and off air. You know what I mean? Like that's a gaining and getting the understanding from each other, which is what would typically happen though in those situations. You know what most people would have done is use that as an opportunity for content. It wouldn't have been over on here. It wouldn't have got settled on here or off of here. It would have been another video or another live about whatever the discrepancy was and moved on. And then that would have steady went on for content. And that works too. That works for the people who do it that way. I think it's corny if we can settle it that time. We don't need to go more into it over again. But this whole thing is always shaped and about shaping and shifting narratives and opinions and so on and so on. And it is what it is. I don't knock the people that choose to go that route. Like I get it. I get it. At the end of the day, nobody is doing this just to be doing it. Not one single soul. I don't care who it is. The people that claim they're not in it for whatever, whatever. Everybody's doing this for a particular reason. Yeah, and that's all it was. It was it was a miscommunication. Those things happen on the block. Me and Dante do that shit. We've been knowing each other for 30 years, and I'm like that with any and everybody. Like, and that's the thing that sometimes it's harder for people to understand with me. I'm not the person that goes through that comfortable mode of where I need to feel the person out before I start to show who I am or um all that. I am 100% who I am all the time. I don't know how to be any other way. Everybody that know the people who watch my channel that know me personally, they know that. I couldn't even get on here and be different if I wanted to. Look, that damn phone to be going crazy. You be like, this ain't you. The fuck is you doing? That just happens to be part of who I am. Now, granted, part of that, um, people can use against you. That's an issue with that. People can use that against you also. Um, and being that way. You know what I mean? And you at an unfair advantage when you are showing who you are and other people are not. But eventually people always show their hand. You know what I mean? People always show their hand. And once I see that shit, I gotta remove myself from any fucking fuck shit. I just go on about my business nice and slowly. Nice and slowly, I go on about my business. Ain't no hard feelings. You do what you do. I do what I do. You ain't gotta worry about me. Just don't fuck with me. Just leave me alone and we'll be fine. But I'm gonna go on about my business once I see that you on some bullshit. You know what I mean? But two men having a conversation, a misunderstanding or debate or whatever you want to call it, and can reach an understanding off of that, we can move forward from that. We done did a couple of other things together since then. I ain't got because I know it doesn't come from a place of it doesn't come from a place of disrespect when we do that. For some people are, and some people engage with the intent of trying to make you look some type of way in front of your audience. It ain't never about an opinion. It's always about trying to win over instead of building and wanting to, because we all sharing some of the same people anyway. That's just what typically happens. We all share some of the same people anyway. I don't know why people don't get that, you know? Like I don't know. Did half of these rules I don't get. That's why I'm making up my own rules as I go the fuck along. I'm going by my guidelines only. But I'm not foolish enough not to understand that people play by different rules. And if you see where people are willing to go and what people are willing to do, and you choose to engage with those people, you can't get mad at where they take it when you know what their capability are. You only can get mad at yourself for choosing to engage at that point. That's the only thing that you can actually do. You can't get mad at that person anymore. You know what they're capable of. You know what they do. You done seen it. And then you going to engage with them and expect for it to be different because it's you? That's crazy. That makes no sense to me. It's supposed to be different. You going to change something? Yeah, fuck, ain't nobody changing nothing. It's a certain way that people play this game, a certain way that people choose to do what they do. That's the norm for this shit. And that's the only way that people perceive who wins, right? People perceives who wins that way. So if you don't engage or play that way with somebody that's playing that way, it's no way you're gonna win that way. So it's better off you just not even do the shit. And before I get out of here, I'm going to play that intro one more time before I go. So I take my ass to work.
They said it was all about knowledge. And now I feel like I got most of it all.
Yo, lost ship. Drop it.
Introducing a man who needs no introduction. And what you see is what you get. They call it street knowledge. You're watching Street Knowledge live.
You already know, boy, you about to get busy with it right now.
I just really enjoyed it. I just want to say it again. This is play it again, just to be doing it. But we get out of here because I gotta go to work. But I appreciate y'all. I didn't even plan on sticking around this long, but since some people was actually here, end up engaging, and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Capo, you already know what time it is. I'm gonna message you in a little bit. Rain, appreciate you. His Lordship, thank you again for your work. I appreciate your work, sir. Lisa X, appreciate you. And that's about it. I see y'all next time. Next time. I'm not even doing no closing thing because this wasn't even the show. I don't even know. I don't even remember what the hell I named this shit. But I'm gonna get out of here yet again. I appreciate y'all and take a look. You know what I mean? Whether y'all whether y'all look at it the same way I do or not, just look at it. the shit. And if most of y'all was around 10 months ago, or even maybe longer than that, just think about what you see now, and have you seen some of this shit before? That's all I'm gonna say. Peace. I'm out of here. See y'all next time. And remember, take some of these good vibes around to some of these other content creators. They